What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk about a very good over-the-counter stock, definitely on the verge of a massive breakout, and that is Solar Integrated Roofing. So I've already done a video on them in the past, going over their basic credentials of everything that you need to know. So I'm just going to give you a good update, go over some massive catalysts that just came out about them, and ultimately do some technical analysis at the end. But before I get into any of that, you guys know the deal. Smash the thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom screen. Greatly appreciate that. With that said, let's get right to it. So as you can see, it had a lot of big catalysts that just came out. I'm going to be talking a lot about those, but unfortunately the broader market has just been causing it to go down and just brushing off a lot of these big catalysts. And when it comes down to it, it is largely because of these, so the decreasing yields, hypothetically again insinuating that there is going to be a rate hike, and that is actually going to be addressed and discussed on Wednesday, January 26, 2022 at 2 o'clock. So that is definitely something for a lot of people to watch for and anticipate. There's going to be most likely a lot of volatility up until that date. So ultimately, if there is a lot of volatility, you can get stocks such as this at a substantial discount. Again, this is ready for a massive breakout, and hypothetically, everything that I'm going to be talking on, the huge catalysts, insinuate that there is a lot of upside. So with that, I'm just going to talk on some things. Right now, it did close out 6.5% down from Friday as the broader market. We already know that. Technically, 2.4 million as far as volume, whereas the average was 2.4. So definitely in line with that. In addition to that, this is only a $190 million market cap company. So when there is these big catalysts that do come out, that makes these companies explode. And like I said, because of the broader market's been selling off, it hasn't fully realized exactly how good these catalysts are. And there's two main catalysts that came out. So as you can see, the earnings were absolutely through the roof. I'm going to go just give you some highlights on that. So third quarter revenue increased 964%. That is insane. You don't get that too often, especially growth like this. They did also secure a lease agreement for $36 million for a 20,000 acre farm near Kingland, Arizona. So that is definitely good. They partnered with Heartland Construction. They did a lot of things. When it comes down to it, I like the bare numbers, and that is this. So you can see, like I already mentioned, the revenue growth was out of this world. Gross profit increased 2,372%, which is again another massive reason why you need to buy. All of these are very strong catalysts, insinuating that they got their stuff together. And when an over-the-counter does these kind of numbers, that is definitely something for a lot of people to watch for, especially it is poised and can get to NASDAQ levels easily. And when it does get on the NASDAQ, that is a whole new ball game. That is when a lot of institutions, hedge funds back up the bus and buy this. So also in addition to that, so total operating expenses for third quarter was 71 million as compared to the total operating expenses of 1.6 from the same time a year ago. Net income was 18.4, which again compared to the previous one was a net loss of 0.6 million. And also cash and cash equivalents is 1.5 million compared to 10.3 million as of February 28th, 2021. And there's a lot of different attributing factors to that, but largely it is a very positive at the end of the day. There is a lot of positives to take from this, especially considering if you take a step back and realize, like I already said a couple of times, this is a over-the-counter stock. This is a big deal, especially for this company. In addition to that, Sirc did have another massive catalyst after their earnings, and that was this. Though they did announce that they are having 7 planned acquisitions totaling 78 million in projected annual revenue. That is just mind-blowing. A lot of positives to take from this. I'm not going to go into detail, and I haven't really researched a lot of these, but I do anticipate that they were all projected to be very profitable at the end. So there was Storm Venture Group, there's Standard Echo Management, BVI Solar. So I'm sure there is a lot of good things here. Let me know in the comments below what you think about these, or if there is one of these 7 that do stand out better than the others. Let me know in the comments below. I'll do a little bit more deeper in due diligence when it comes to a lot of these other companies that they did acquire. So, but regardless, they are all definitely based on the description within line of what actually they do for a day-to-day business. So that is very profitable. And again, they do anticipate 78 million in projected annual revenue, which again, from a over-the-counter stock is just icing on the cake, especially if you have this in comparison. So their earnings as well. So there is a lot of positive catalysts that did cause this to go up pretty significantly. So with that, shorts did actually close out a lot of their positions. So you can see for the most part at its highs was roughly about 52.67 as far as their short interest. It did get all the way down to 14.98, starting to pick back up a little bit, but there was a lot of big catalysts that did catch a lot of the shorts by surprise, which is why it dropped so significantly. And just looking at this, so you can see the orangish line, whatever that is utilization rate. So right now utilization is 76.63, which is relatively high, has gone down roughly about 13%. So definitely a lot of shorts have been closing out their position, and you can tell that based on this. So regardless of all that, there is still a huge anticipation that given the circumstances, shorts can still close out a lot of their position, and this is a perfect opportunity for a squeeze if that is your thing or if that is your niche. But ultimately at the end of the day, this company has shown us that they have their stuff together. That is the biggest takeaway from all of this. The reasons why you need to buy are unlimited, like I've already mentioned. Keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence. With that, I'm just going to tie it together with some technical analysis. So I have the 50, 100, 200-day moving averages, boiling bands, RSI, stochastic, and momentum. So overall, pretty good representation, everything you need to know. Momentum, so you can see a whole new rush of buyers did pick up. Looking at stochastic, it was anticipated that there was something coming, a big rally, because you can see there was a deviation between this. The black was above the red as far as the lines. So again, a couple days before this whole rally did start, it did anticipate that there was something big that was coming. As of Friday though, it did start to revert back to its old, so the red line above the black, but that is largely because of, like I said, the huge decrease in the yields that did happen on Friday, again insinuating that there is going to be a rate increase hike, which will hurt a lot of companies that do heavily rely on debt, so such as over-the-counter stocks. So that's something you need to be aware of. So looking on the actual chart though, we are technically higher percentile of the Bollinger Band, which is very positive, and that can't be said for a lot of other companies in similar circumstances to Sirc. So again, just the fact alone that we are still in the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band is still a very massive positive. In addition to that, right now we are technically between the 50 and 100-day moving averages. On Friday we did actually test the 50, but we did luckily enough bounce back from that. But most likely again we'll just be range bound between these 2 points for some time until again either the market corrects, or unless there is another big catalyst that Sirc has underneath their belt to cause us to get to all-time highs again. So there is a lot of positives when it comes down to it, and even looking back on their chart definitely shows that there can be a huge increase very fast, and that could definitely happen with any time when it comes to Sirc, especially like I said, the huge catalyst that they just came through. So overall, technicals look very good. Huge catalyst, like I already mentioned, especially their earnings. That is something I'm very impressed with. And like I said, there is a lot of good opportunities for this to have a massive breakout. Again, it just needs the market to calm down a little bit. So it might not necessarily happen this week, but very soon. So this is why right now still is an amazing time to buy in, especially when it comes to Sirc. It is a long-term investment and you need to be aware of that. In the short term, there is going to be a lot of fluctuations, a lot of volatility, but long term, it will be the patient ones that make the most. With that, let me know your thoughts on Sirc in the comments below. If you haven't already, smash a thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button on the bottom screen. With that, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on Sirc.